Here at BBC Radio Suffolk, 10:30. Christmas cards on the show today because it's the time when you need to start thinking about getting those cards, who you're going to send them to, amending the list, taking people off, adding them, or maybe this year not donating at all to the Christmas card manufacturers and the greetings card manufacturers, but donating to charity instead. Lots of people opting to do that or going down the e-card route. Be really interested to hear if you've changed your habits this year or are contemplating changing your habits. 81333 when you text. Start your message with SFK. Marion says she still sends cards, but not many now, just friends and family. Brenda in Thurston, we stopped sending Christmas cards about 5 years ago and give the money directly to charity. We put a note in each card the year before to let people know we were going to do this. We still receive lots of cards and people have commented on our decision, says Brenda. So I'd love to hear from you if you've decided not to send cards this year. Perhaps you've opted to give money to charity instead, have a special reason to support a particular charity. Or maybe you're an ardent fan and think that sending a Christmas card is all part of the lead up to the festive season. They are lovely, aren't they, when you get them through the post. They are fabulous, and I love knocking the nails into the wall. The holes are all there from last year, and getting the bits of string up and tying them all around. It's fantastic. Another charity that's feeling the benefit of donating to them in lieu of sending cards and paying postage on Christmas cards is the East Anglian Air Ambulance. Helen Dodman is with me from the charity. I didn't hear you land.
No, I came in the car.
Did you?
Yes.
OK, wise move. Wise move. Important time of the year as a fundraiser, this, isn't it, for you?
It is, it definitely is. And the supporters that we have are so fantastic at this time of year. We've actually got one of our former patients who's not only donating money for Christmas cards this year, but none of her friends and family are going to be receiving presents either.
Oh, really?
I don't know whether they know.
OK.
But she's giving us money instead of presents as well as cards this year. And we find a lot of people are starting to do that now. So, you know, we are raising thousands of pounds every year with people who pop a little note in a card to us, which is lovely, saying here's a cheque because I haven't sent anything to my friends this year, and everyone seems quite accepting of that.
Yeah, a lot of people decide to do that these days. It is sad, though, if you're not getting a whole load of cards or sending them, because they are nice, aren't they? I mean, do you do the charity ones?
It is, we do, and I don't want you to be sad, so we've brought you one in.
Oh, bless!
So I will cover up Mr. December in your calendar with a card for you.
Thank you very much.
I don't want your walls to be bare this year.
Thank you.
And we do find that people do still support us. I mean, that is very much like St Elizabeth. Ours are actually going up. In 2011, we raised about 46,000 with selling Christmas cards. Last year, it went up to 52. And we're seeing that our cards are already running out and we're having to order more this year. But likewise, the people who are donating money is increasing as well instead of giving cards. So it does seem to be that time of year where charity really is on people's minds, and we really appreciate that.
It is difficult sometimes to know what to buy people, actually. A lot of people have got a lot of things these days, and so actually it's a good thing perhaps for all concerned to think about some kind of charitable donation in amongst all of that. It's clearly what people are doing.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things that we're looking at doing is kind of, you were talking about e-cards. We're thinking of looking into e-gifts, and we'd be really interested to hear what people think of that. So things like buying someone fuel for an hour. You know, people's homes are getting cluttered up. You don't just want gifts. So it's nice to give a gift, but do you want to give
so the kind of
that people
ethical
wouldn't
gift,
appreciate?
really, that we saw lots of a few years ago.
Definitely.
Everybody was buying a cow, weren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
People buy each other goats and cows and those sorts of things. So we're thinking of buying, you know, for £3 you can buy us a syringe. You know, is that the sort of thing that people would like to buy each other as gifts?
Come back and talk some more in a moment or two. If you pop those headphones on, you can hear Sharon Little, who's with us now, Chief Executive of the Greeting Card Association. Sharon, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks ever so much for joining us. I bet you're busy at the moment, aren't you?
It is busy, yes. We're having some fantastic responses from retailers saying that Christmas is really successful so far this year. Last year, people bought more single cards than they did the previous year. So this whole thing of the death of the Christmas card, I think, is completely wrong and mistaken.
There are people, though, who are deciding not to send them, not because they don't want to, but they can't afford to. And it's not the buying of the card, it's the postage.
Well, yes, postage has gone up. Christmas cards are generally sent by second-class post as opposed to first class, which is how you would normally send birthday cards.
Still 50p though.
It's 50p, but if you actually think about what you're getting for your 50p, I think we're just really used to having a very cheap postal service. And whenever we see the price going up by more than a couple of pennies, we think, gosh, that's a lot. But just think about what Royal Mail has to do for that money, getting your card from one end of the country to the other, charging everybody the same amount. I think it's actually still incredibly good value for money. And you know what? A few years ago, who would have thought that we would be paying £2.50 for a cappuccino?
Well, yeah, that's true. That is true.
You know, it's all about perception, I think, in terms of postage.
I think the thing is when you go to the post office and you've written all your cards and then you say, I need 50 stamps.
You're sending a lot all in one go. Yeah.
That's when it hurts. That's when you think, oh, hang on a moment, maybe I'll not do so much.
Yeah, I think people are sending slightly fewer cards, but they're prepared to spend more money on special cards for special people in their lives.
So the greeting cards business at Christmas is alive and well, and we shouldn't mourn its demise just yet.
Oh, absolutely. And there's something else I'd like to say about Christmas cards as well. You know, I think it is the time of year when people like to be in contact with people maybe that they haven't seen for ages, relatives that they don't see very often, and people really do appreciate being remembered by being sent a card. And they kind of it's to do with self-worth as well, you know, particularly, you know, if you're getting elderly, for example, and you're not receiving so many cards, it's all starting to look a bit bare on the walls. I would say make sure you send your auntie's cards, your uncle's cards, your elderly relatives' cards, because they really, really do value that. And there's something about some ink on paper, people's handwriting we don't see very often these days. So, you know, it's just a great way of showing that you value people.
And as far as this country is concerned, we are the king of the Christmas card, aren't we?
Well, we are the greeting card capital of the world. We send more cards per person than any other nation in this country. And actually, it was quite interesting. Royal Mail did some scientific research a few months ago, which showed that they actually wired people up and measured their brain waves when they received cards, text messages, and emails to see what the emotional reaction of the brain was to them. There was virtually no emotional reaction to e-cards, to texts, to emails, but with greeting cards and the image and the handwriting, the emotional reaction went off the scale.
Well, I've just been handed one, you see, from Helen from the air ambulance, so my emotional reaction is huge.
You're feeling very emotional.
I am. I was very pleased when you handed that over, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
I was genuinely very pleased, but also equally pleased to get the e-card from my producer 20 feet away.
Yes, I don't know. I think e-cards are the devil's spawn.
I love it. Thank you very much, Sharon. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you. Lovely
Take care.
To speak to you too.
Bye-bye. Sharon Little, Chief Executive of the Greeting Card Association.